sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Car King Sports and Variety Show. I am your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Car King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490am.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program upcoming professional superstar wrestler who demonstrates his powerful strength in the independent circuit. I welcome to the program, Gunner Moody. Gunner, great to have you.
How's it going, Brian? Glad to be here.
My pleasure, Gunner. And, I figure let's begin with the basics. Your background in wrestling, early years, how you got into the sport.
All right, yeah. So I'm a very typical case. I've been a long-time wrestling fan since the age of, yes, my mother, she'd tell you 3 years old. I can remember as far as 6 years old. So I've been watching wrestling ever since then, and I got into the sport professionally about 5 years ago this October.
And, Gunner, I'm kind of ignorant on the independent circle, I got to admit. I mean, I'm familiar with WWF, WWE, NWA. Give me and my audience a little lesson about the independent circle. What does it entail? How do you get involved in it? Do you have to be recruited? Just a background on the independent circuit.
Yeah. So the independent level is so far more expensive than a WWE per se, because obviously WWE is on television. The independent circuit is not usually. You'll see a lot of guys and a lot of promotions on like YouTube or whatever social media clips they may post on there. But in order to get into independent wrestling, you got to find a school. I'll do a quick plug real quick for the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, a very well-known school here in New England. That's where I currently train at. That would be the best way to get into the business for anybody that wants to be in professional wrestling. So, whether you want to be a referee, a ring announcer, or like me, be a professional wrestler. So that would be the great way to get your foot in the door into the independent level. And once you get your foot into the door, you will have, especially here in New England, you will have a plethora of different promotions to help out, perform at, or the end-all, be-all, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I got you. So is this like professional, let's say, baseball? You have scouts or you have recruiters that go watch these matches, and if you perform well, they'll take your side and maybe offer you a bigger deal in the future? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that happens a lot of times, especially when you're a talent such as, I'm going to throw some names out, a Richard Holiday, who is really big on the independent scene right now, a Bear Bronson, who is killing it over in TNA and on the independent scene. A lot of those guys that get onto the upper echelon of the independent scene, they will start to get eyes from a talent scout for the WWE, TNA, AEW, whatever it may be. Somebody like me who's still relatively fresh and new onto the scene, unless I started doing some crazy stuff and really got my name out there, they ain't really going to look at somebody like me right now, but you never know. So you always want to perform at your very best, in-ring, out of the ring, doesn't matter.
Now, how do you develop a gimmick? Like you said, you got to get your name out there. That's a big part of this profession. So a lot of it has to do with self-promoting, I'm assuming, self-marketing, self-promoting. How do you create a gimmick?
Well, if you listen to a lot of guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin and such like that, the best character, the best gimmicks are what you know as yourself. So for me, I'm a big country boy. I'm a big, backwoods kind of guy, listening to country music and all that. So for me, Gunner Moody being the New England redneck, the big old country boy, the kind of guy that you want to have a beer with, that's just me in my day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you're somebody who, let's say, is a fan of The Undertaker and you like the macabre, the spooky side of professional wrestling and you want to be, this emo, gothic character, You just really got to find something that speaks to you, and also get feedback from, if you get feedback from your coaches and like, hey, try this for your gimmick, try that for your gimmick, or you get somebody that's been around telling you the same thing. You know what I mean? So that's the best way to find yourself as a character in professional wrestling, is really do what you know, and you will go so far.
Interesting. We're talking with Gunnar Moody, professional wrestler. He joins us this morning on the program. Gunnar, let's talk about your first trainer. Who trained you your first time?
So I used to train up in the school in New Hampshire. I'll admit we have a little bit of bad blood, so I don't really want to talk much about them right now. But I'm currently, like I said, at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, trained under Chase Delamonte, who is a very big name here in professional wrestling. You may have heard other guys talk about them on podcasts, other interviews, and stuff like that. We also have guys like Donovan Dijak, who just came back from the WWE on the independent level, 3 years ago, and he's also been killing it. We have guys like Anthony Green, who helps coaches us. So we get trained by big names in the professional wrestling space.
No question. And, I want to plug this because I'm reading your Facebook page, Gunnar Moody on Facebook. It says you have a big match coming up August 29th with Maverick.
Yes. We also have a show tonight, actually. If you guys are in the Providence area, come to NCW at NCW 17. You will see me tagged with my tag team partner, Cletus of Camel Country. We're going to make a big splash in Providence tonight. As for Jason, this is a match that has been brewing now for almost a year. He walked out on me and cost us our tag team titles, and I haven't heard from him since, so August 29th, we're going to have to lay the smackdown on him, if you know what I'm saying.
So you think you have a good shot of giving him a smackdown, Jason Maverick?
Oh, yeah. Jason and I have known each other for a while, and like I said, it's about time he pays for what he did. He may be a big boy. He may be just a little bit bigger than me, but it ain't going to be a problem for Redneck Strength. That's my little tagline there. I'm just going to pick him up, slam him down, and we're going to pin him 1, 2, 3.
And that's August 29th, Newburyport Elks, right? Newburyport, Massachusetts.
For Atlantic Pro Wrestling. Check them out, guys. They are a great company. It's a little underappreciated promotion, if you will. I feel like we could definitely step up our game if we get more and more people to talk about us. So come to Atlantic Pro Wrestling. Come see your boy, Gunnar Moody. And like I said, if you're in the Providence area tonight, come to NCW and see your boy do his thing.
Yeah. Now, Gunnar, just reading a little bit on your career, I know you've held a tag team championship belt. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
Excuse me. I am currently the Lucky Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion. Jason and I were the APW Tag Team Champions formerly. So, yeah, I'm currently a Tag Team Champion for a place that I love to call home in LPW. Got to give a big shout-out to them. They gave me, technically, they gave me my first match ever in professional wrestling, not under the name Gunnar Moody. I was just we'll call a fan at the time. But, yeah, currently a champion for a promotion as we speak, and we have a couple lined up potentially.
Well, that's the next question I wanted to ask you, Gunnar. Your first match, what was that like, your experience? How was that like for you? A lot of adrenaline, I'm guessing.
Oh, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of nerves. Like I said, Lucky Pro technically gave me my first match, and it was a wild thing that they wanted to do that for me. And then Atlantic Pro Wrestling gave me my real first match under the name Gunnar Moody, under my character. And let me tell you something, man. Before I went through that current, I was a puddle of nerves. I was scared half the mind, not knowing how this was going to go. You can actually see that match against Owen Brody at APW on YouTube, and you could just see the early stages of my career. I've definitely gotten a lot better since then, but yeah, man, that was such a wild experience to have my first match in front of a crowd in any scenario, whether it was that match for Lucky Pro or the match for APW. Just to be in front of a crowd truly for the first time and have all eyes be on you was just a wild experience, and I wish I could have bottled it up. I really, really do. If I could open that bottle right now and get that energy again, it was wild.
Now, you've had a busy month. Looking at your schedule, I know a few weeks ago you celebrated the country's 250th year birth. Now, that was a match at the CWA Fair, correct?
That is correct. That was up in Warren, New Hampshire for Colonial Wrestling Alliance.
Wow. Talk a little bit about that experience, because I read or I heard that you walked out to the Hulkster's tune.
That is correct. They wanted me. For those that don't know what I look like in ring, I am very much the all-American country boy. I got red, white, and blue draped around me. I got camel on me. So I'm very much the patriotic country boy. You know what I'm saying? And they really wanted me to come out to Hulk Hogan's theme song. And I'm like, all right, you know what? We're coming up on the 1 year of his passing. May he rest in peace. So let's do it. And as I made my entrance, I get into the ring. My opponent was flapping his gums, saying how I stole his music, saying that we were, disrespecting the Hulkster. And literally, as I pointed up to the sky, saying that it was a tribute to Hulk Hogan himself, the unbelievable thing happened. A bald eagle flew over my head as I pointed up to the sky, bringing up Hulkster's name. So, needless to say, I think Hulk Hogan approved that entrance, approved what I was doing in his name.
Oh, man, that's incredible. So I'm guessing you're a Hulkster fan. He was your idol.
Yeah, I grew up as a Hulk Hogan fan. Truth be told, The Undertaker is the reason why I'm sitting here talking to you today, because without The Undertaker, I would not be a wrestling fan. But Hogan is definitely an all-time top 5 guy for me, as well as like a Stone Cold Steve Austin type, which you can see a lot of those three in the way I portray myself and a lot of how I work. You can see a lot of influence from those three specifically.
And, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Gunner, following the WWF years ago, the only other quote, redneck strength, as you call it, wrestler that I can think of was Hillbilly Jim, if I'm not wrong. Remember Hillbilly Jim?
I know Hillbilly Jim. I've actually met him briefly at one point. But yeah, you look at the history of the redneck country boy character, if you will, in professional wrestling. There's a long list. Obviously, at the top of that list, there's like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then you work your way down to the Hillbilly Jims. I'm spacing on names right now because there's literally so many characters that have done a country boy gimmick. But yeah, you throw in a little Hillbilly Jim there with the way I, try to portray myself. I always try to take a lot from the legends, maybe the lesser known characters. Not saying Hillbilly Jim's not a lesser known character. He is in the WWE Hall of Fame as we speak. But you always want to take a little bit from the guys that have made it in this business.
A couple of questions that come to mind, Gunner. Who would be your absolute dream opponent in the independent scene or in the major leagues, let's say?
Oh, that's a really good question because I've thought about this a lot.
And
on
why?
The independent level, on the independent level right now, I'm looking at guys like Bear Bronson, who, like I said earlier, I believe he's still currently the TNA Tag Team Champion. And he's just been killing it here on the independent scenes. So I would really, really love to step into the ring with Bear, especially since I've known him since 2019. I saw him, really start to come into his ways as a fan. And to be able to now say, not only have I seen you as a fan, but now I get to work with you as a colleague, that would be truly, truly something special to me. We have a guy here in New England. I'm sure a lot of New England wrestling fans will know this name, Mortar. Got a lot of love and respect for Mortar. I've had the privilege of tagging with him one time. I would really, really love to step into the ring with him and see if I can go toe-to-toe with him. If we're going to go looking at, like, the WWE, if I could turn back the time and go into the ring with The Undertaker, man, I would love that. He could beat me with that tombstone all day. Just let me step into the ring with him.
And, in the ring, obviously, you're performing to a crowd. And I'm just wondering, how do you gauge if the crowd is quiet? Because that must be difficult to do, to get them to react to you.
Honestly, it can be. It really depends on the crowd, the town you're in, and how they're really going. If the crowd's quiet, that means they hate what you're doing, essentially.
Really?
Yeah, so you really got to work hard to get them engaged, get them to cheer or boo the bad guy, you know what I mean? But yeah, if they're quiet, you really got to step up your game and really, really get them to cheer or boo whichever reaction you want them to do. But if you got a hot crowd, you got a crowd that's just ready to be there, happy to be there, maybe even got a little bit of booze in them, man, it is a fun night when you got a crowd behind your back.
This may be a weird question. I have an audience that's really into equipment and gear. When I speak to musicians, they're into that. Just a question. Do you carry a wrestling bag? What is always in your wrestling bag besides your gear? Or what type of gear brands do you use or do you prefer to use in the ring?
So what's usually in my bag besides my gear is obviously like wrist tape. You always got to have wrist tape on hand. I like to use finger tape to just wrap around the knuckles, give a little extra support on there. You know what? I always keep a thing of Tiger Balm on me just in case I get that soreness going on.
Now, is this superstition? Is this superstitious stuff that you do, or just habit?
Not really. I don't really have a routine per se. Like, I don't usually well, that's a lie. I do say a prayer before I walk out the curtain, especially since I had a knee injury last year. Actually, it was going on for 3 years, but we just finally had the surgery done last year. But yeah, I'll usually say a prayer right before I hit the curtain. Other than that, there's really no routine I have. I don't have a way I gotta lace up my boots. I don't have a way that I gotta wrap the wrist tape up in a specific way. It's kind of just, let's get ready, let's go kill it for these fans, and hope to God that we have a great night.
Yeah, like I said, it was a weird question. I just have sports fans that are into gear and equipment and all that, so I figure I asked you the question since you're a professional athlete. And, one of the hardest things, Gunner, must be balancing a regular day job with wrestlers with weekend wrestling bookings. That must be very difficult to do.
It can be, especially for somebody on my level where, like I said, obviously I'm fresh to the business still. I'm only going on 5 years. So I still have a regular paying job, and trying to find that balance of work and life and wrestling, it really can be difficult. But once you edge out the kinks and work your way through it, it can work in your favor. It's just, like any professional athlete or any pro wrestler, you're just not home a lot. You maybe have a few hours to yourself here and there before you got to go work out, or you got to go make this booking, or maybe you got to go to that old 9 to 5 so you can pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it can be difficult. Some guys do it better than others. I like to think that I do pretty okay with my time management to make everything work.
And I have a couple of minutes left with you, Gunner. Is there an injury that scares you the most during a match? I mean, you have to be really precise in your moves. It's such a dangerous sport. Any injury when you're in the ring that scares you the most?
It would have to be when my knee decided to get injured 3 years ago. We were going for a body slam, or I was about to get slammed, and my knee just decided to say, "Yeah, you're done." And what ended up happening, and we didn't realize it was that bad until last summer. I ended up tearing my meniscus, and my ACL was just non-existent. So how I was able to wrestle for 2.5 years without an ACL and a torn meniscus, yeah, if anyone's listening can give me an answer to that, please reach out to me and be like, you're either a tough, dumb, I don't know if I can curse here, you're either a dumb SOB or you're a tough SOB, you know what I mean? But now that we had the repair done, we had everything good, we've been killing it. We actually came back sooner than what would typically be out for. Normally an injury like mine, you're out for over a year. I came back in less than 4 months.
Wow. And, now I know you must be on the road a lot as a wrestler. What is the longest drive you ever made for a show and didn't pay very much? And did you ever get pissed off? Did that ever happen to you?
I've never been pissed off with my pay. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not in this for the money. I'm truly in this just for the chasing of the dream. But the longest drive I've done, think on that for a second. I think about 4.5 hours to a show up in Maine. Yeah, it was a show up in Maine. It was about 4.25 hour long drive, and I'll admit the pay wasn't the greatest, but it got enough to pay for food and gas, and that's all I cared about.
Yeah, and 2 minutes left. I want to ask you, I know you do appearances, signing autographs at these sports memorabilia shows. Do you get a kick out of it? Do you enjoy signing for fans? I know it's the beginning. You have a great career ahead of you, but it must be thrilling to watch these fans come up to you and ask for your autograph.
Man, it is wild that I have kids coming up to me asking for my autograph. If you were to tell me this 7 years ago that I would have kids asking for my signature, asking to take a photo with me, I would have called you crazy. But I truly love that I have fans now. I love that I have some special relationships with some of those fans. I got kids that are telling me that I'm their all-time favorite. I have their parents reaching out for me to give them a little birthday message or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a truly special thing to be able to have fans come up to you and talk with you and just to interact. You know what I mean? Like, I truly get a kick out of meet and greets and getting to take photos with all the fans that I can have. So if you guys ever want to take a photo with me, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, and I know you got, as we talked about, you got your big event coming up late August. Are you going to be at any conventions or shows where the listening audience can come see you?
No conventions as of right now, but as far as shows go, like I said, I got tonight in Providence, Rhode Island for NCW. Next week on August 7th, you can see me at Supernova Wrestling in Revere, Mass, I believe. And then literally the next day, I'm back in Rhode Island for Renegade Wrestling Alliance. So we are all over the next week or so.
Gunnar, this was fun. I thank you for the information. I wish you luck, and we will keep in touch.
Absolutely, my man. You have me on anytime you want. I look forward to this again.
Thanks, buddy. Gunnar Moody. Until next week, happy collecting to all.